Hi everyone, it's Chris Tuck here from West Wickham Health and Fitness, and I am in Chloe's lovely back garden and the sun has come out to play. So, I don't know if you've seen the headlines this week, but the government want to give those who are obese and unfit a chance to regain their health through having gastric bypasses. In the past it's been gastric bans, but it's now gastric bypasses. And I'm speaking to a lovely lady called Chloe Skinner who has had personal experience of having this. And in the past I've been doing fitness for, well, since 2003 now, 17 years. And I, as a fit pro, always thought that having a bypass or a band was an easy way out for an individual to get out of actually putting the effort in for health and wellness, to regaining their health and wellness. For me, if you have a balanced nutritional diet and you do exercise, movement every day, you will lose that weight. That's what I thought. That's what I was brought up on. However, my view on this has changed a little bit because of Chloe's journey and because of what other people have told me. If not eating and moving more was that easy, we wouldn't have a nation that is becoming more and more obese. So, after you have heard Chloe's story and the struggles before and after and where she is now, you might change your mind as well. So I'm going to introduce you to Chloe, guys. There we go. Over to you, Chloe.
Hi.
Hi. So tell us a little bit about where you was.
So where I was 145 kilos.
What is that in stones and
22
pounds?
stone,
Wow.
1 pound.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my heaviest.
Okay. And when was that?
That was 4 years ago.
Okay. 2016.
2016. So we were in the summer of 2016 and I had been going through a cycle of, I like to eat food, I don't care that I'm overweight, I'm going to carry on eating, I'm not prepared to give it up, I'm perfectly happy, my husband loves me. And I'd done that cycle for many, many years. And I then got to a point where I started to lose mobility, and it happened slowly. You know, things like they would suggest bowling as a night out, and I would say, oh, I don't really like to bowl, I'll do the scoring, because I didn't want to put the silly shoes on, I didn't want to try and run up and down the alleys. Or they would say, let's go canoeing, let's go kayaking, let's go for a walk on the moors, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I don't like that sort of thing. And those I could deal with, because I would just say, oh, I don't like walking, I'll sit in the car. Or
So was you using excuses
Yeah.
to stop yourself from living?
yeah, but I didn't realise that.
Okay.
I didn't realise that actually that's what I was doing. I was trying to say to myself that I was happy where I was, but actually I wasn't. And it's only now when I look back that I realise that I wasn't happy and I was making excuses, and actually I really wish I'd done something sooner, but I didn't.
You wasn't in the right mindset
No, I
at the
wasn't.
time.
No.
So how did you get to be 22 stone and 1 pound? How did that happen?
Just a gradual. I would go on a diet, I would eat less food, I would be more active, I'd lose 4 stone, I'd then congratulate myself, go and have a takeaway, stop going out, stop walking, start taking the lift again, then I'd put on 6 stone, and then the whole cycle would start again.
So that's the classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
People, you get to where you feel that you've where you want to be, and then you get comfortable.
Yep.
And you go back to all of those default habits, that
Absolutely.
default lifestyle, and you forget how much effort it took for you to get from there to there.
Absolutely. And I think it was because every time you do it on your own, you don't have that medical support. And I'm not saying that everybody needs medical support, but I never learned what a healthy plate was. I never learned, I could cut my calories back, that was fine. I learned how to count calories, but I didn't know, once I'd lost the weight, how I then lived to maintain. and be able to put in a few little treats so that you don't cheat. That's the bit I didn't have. And so you go from restricting your calories so that you're within an inch of your life and you lose the weight, and then you lose the weight, and then you go, woohoo, I can eat again, and then the takeaways start, and you become less active because you start to put on the weight, and then the trainers don't fit anymore, or the gym kit, and I didn't have that understanding of how to then live after weight loss.
And I think that's a good point that you've made, because I have run my own fat loss and fitness clubs in the past, and it is quite easy in the grand scheme of things. It's quite easy to lose the weight, but maintaining that weight loss
is hard, and
living that lifestyle is a lot harder than actually losing the weight.
I think so, yeah.
I found that with a lot of my clients that they almost feel guilty about putting all that weight back on again, and then declaring to everybody, oh, I'm on another diet, and another diet and another diet. So it is about making sure that we get rid of these diets, and we start living for a healthier lifestyle. Absolutely. And trying to learn to maintain that, and learning exactly what is healthy food and what isn't healthy food. But we can have everything in moderation. Yeah. So there's no bad food, there's no good food. However, there are foods that are better for you
100%.
On your fat loss journey, during your fat loss journey, and for maintaining. So I just want to go back to how you were feeling when you were 22 stone and 1 pound. What did life look like?
Life was really restricted. Things like I would never walk to the shop. I wouldn't ever walk to the corner shop.
Why?
Oh, I just wouldn't do it. I was just too sluggish, too slow. It was painful. My legs chafed. My feet hurt from standing up. I wouldn't even go upstairs to get my slippers. I tried really hard to train my dog to go and fetch my slippers.
Wow.
That's how much I didn't want to do it. But at the time, I wasn't going, I'm really fat, I don't want to go upstairs. It was purely, oh, I could train my dog to do that because that would be much easier. Or my husband, and he would do it every time I would ask him. He would do it, but he really wanted me to do it for myself, to try and get a few steps in. But I wasn't in that mentality. It was all about avoiding having to walk or be active or do anything, because I didn't sleep well, because I couldn't get comfortable in bed, and so because I didn't sleep well, I'd then be grumpy, and you've got to try and continue with life. And it wasn't a great place to be, but at the time you don't see it, you accept it for what it is, because changing at that point, for me, I wasn't prepared to give up all of those things for something better in the future, because it didn't look as good as what I had. I was happy with the burgers and the chips and the cakes and the croissants, and having a life that was restricted, because I didn't really appreciate how restricted it was compared to what I have now.
Okay, so what was the turning point for you then? Because there is always a turning point, and often people never get to that point because they're on that diet, yo-yo, cycle, and they never get to that rock bottom point that really triggers them into truly changing.
Life-changing.
Yeah. What was that for you?
So for me, I was a sales rep, and I needed to buy a new pair of shoes.
Okay.
Which most people probably would love. But as a very overweight person, buying shoes is horrendous, because you have to go into a shop and you have to be judged by everybody that's in there, because you're walking in overweight.
And that's what you feel.
Yeah.
Everyone's just
judged, looking at you. It was hot. I was sweaty. They're probably thinking, holy cow. And I found a really nice pair of shoes that I liked. They were lace-ups. I bent over to try and tie them up, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack and die there and then. And I thought, oh my God, this has got to stop. This is not right. I'm not even 40, and I can't bend over to try on a pair of shoes that I really liked, that were really sensible, comfortable shoes, because my body can't bend over and deal with the pressure of being folded in half.
What did that feel like for you?
Horrendous. I was so embarrassed. I just put the shoes down and walked out.
Wow.
I was so embarrassed. I really was. And I don't really get embarrassed. That I'll do almost anything. But Yeah, that for me was the turning point. Things like trying to go to the bathroom. I hated going to the toilet in public bathrooms because you probably had a cubicle like this size.
Yeah.
That was awful. So there was lots of little things that then rang alarm bells about losing mobility. You know, being a 38-year-old woman who now couldn't bend over, struggled to go to the toilet in public. In public.
In a public toilets,
in a public toilet. You know,
what was your breathing like?
So going upstairs was horrendous, you know, I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without having to catch my breath at the top, and that's not good. That's not a good place to be. I'd given up smoking, so that was good. That was a step in the right direction. But you know, no, walking anywhere was tough. If I couldn't find a parking space right out the front of the supermarket, I'd leave.
Right, okay.
I'd go to another supermarket.
So your life almost came to a point where it accommodated you in the situation that you were in, rather than you wanting to change to live a life to the full.
Yeah.
Now, after you came back from the shoe shop, what happened?
So I came back from the shoe shop mortified, and I thought, this has absolutely now got to change, but it has to be forever. This can't be another fad diet. This time I'm committed, and my husband's probably heard that 1,000 times, but I was really, really committed, and I thought, no, this time I have to make a difference. I don't want to be 40 and in the same situation. So I called my doctor and I booked an appointment. And I'll be honest, I thought he was going to say to me, I'm going to get you on Slimming World and I'm going to give you a free gym membership. That's what I thought he was going to give me. That's what I was looking for, thinking this time I'm dedicated, but I'm going to make a difference, and I'm not going to do it on my own. I'm going to go and get some help. So I thought, let's go Slimming World, Weight Watchers, whatever it is, try and have that help with nutrition to understand a balanced plate, have the commitment of going every week, go to the gym. That's what I thought I was going to get. That isn't what I got.
Okay.
That isn't what I got. I literally walked in. He was a locum to the doctor's surgery, but he was amazing. And I just sat down and I said, look, I need to lose some weight, but I can't do it on my own. And it is now life-changing. And he said, that's fine. He said, I am going to refer you for bariatric surgery. And I kind of went, what?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give me a gym membership.
Yeah.
He's like, no. He said, you are at a point in your life where you're now going to start costing me money. You're going to need your hips replaced, your knees replaced. You're going to be diabetic. You're going to have all this, that and the other. You're going to cost us a fortune on the NHS if we don't sort you out. He said, I'm going to do the paperwork today because it takes 8 weeks. I'm going to give you a pack. You're going to take it home and you're going to have a read of it. And you've got 8 weeks to make a decision before your hospital appointment comes through to meet the surgeon. So go away and think about it. Talk to your husband. And if you decide that, no, that's not for you, come back and I'll get you a gym membership and a Weight Watchers membership. Not a problem at all. He said, but I don't think that's going to work.
Okay. And why didn't he think it was going to work for you in particular? And why don't you think it would have worked?
Because I'd already done it.
Okay.
I've done every diet out there.
Yeah.
I've done every fad thing out there. I've done the gym. And I hated the gym. But I went and I spent hours on a treadmill because I didn't have an understanding of exercise either.
Yeah.
I just thought if you ran on a treadmill, you'd lose weight, you know. But that isn't the case.
No.
It just isn't.
As we know.
Yeah, all it does is make you hungry and you eat more food. But yeah, so he knew that. And I think he knew how old I was and how miserable it had made me. And I told him all about my embarrassing stories and how this time I really wanted to make a life-changing decision. But I had never considered bariatric surgery at that point. It wasn't something that... It's not something that people talk about.
No, and it wasn't on your radar.
It wasn't on my radar.
No.
As far as I was concerned, that was for people who get forklift out of houses in America. That's what I thought bariatric surgery was
real
about.
End of life sort of life changing. Yeah.
But he looked at me as an end of life person.
Wow. How did that make you feel? Because he actually said that to you as well.
No, that was
didn't
my
he?
surgeon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'll backtrack then.
Yeah. So he obviously looked at me and went, but he said to me, "You're going to cost me loads of money. Mm-hmm. You are going to cost the NHS thousands upon thousands. So go and look at this and spend 8 weeks thinking about it." So I took it home to husband and he was like, no, you do not need to have surgery. That is far too extreme. No. So we put it in the drawer,
Yeah.
and we left it. And I thought, I'll just leave it and I'll see what happens. And I kept on thinking about it and kept thinking about it. It was popping into my mind, and I thought, no, I'm going to have a look at it. So I went through all the paperwork. There was a gastric band where they put a ring around your stomach and they inflate it or deflate it.
Yeah.
It was very popular in the past. There was a bypass,
Yeah.
which is what I've had, where they cut away the stomach but they leave it inside of you.
Right.
And there was a sleeve, which is where they basically put like a cone of they don't cut away the stomach, they make like a little sleeve around it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So they were the choices in there. And I decided I'm going to have the band because it's not very invasive. They can do it keyhole through the belly button.
Right.
And it's not like extreme.
Yeah.
That's what I decided. I thought, and I spoke to husband about it, and he was behind me all the way. He's like, do you know what? If you think that that's what you need to do to get it done, I'm
Yeah.
with you, whatever it takes. So I was like, okay. So I went back to the doctor and I said, I'm going to go for it. And he was like, excellent. He said, I will fund it. If the hospital refuse to give you funding, I will get the funding out of the clinic because it will save me money in the long run.
Okay. A very forward-thinking practitioner there.
And he was a locum.
Yeah.
He actually now practices at the clinic, but he was a locum at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I waited for my appointment. It came through. Went up to the local hospital. Sat down in front of this gentleman who didn't even look up from the paperwork, and he was flapping through it.
Wow.
He went, Chloe Skinner? I said, yeah. 145 kilos. Yeah, if you say so. Not responsible for your life at all.
Is that what he said to
Yeah.
you? Wow. Wow.
Really bad life choices.
Wow.
Got yourself in a right old pickle. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
That's me. And he went, so it will be the gastric bypass that I recommend for you. He's now finally looked up at me. And I went, oh, no, I would like the bands, please. You know,
Yeah.
the small, safe option that's
Yeah.
removable. And no, you're irresponsible with your life. You need the choice taken away from you. If you have the band, you'll get fat again.
How did that make you feel, Chloe?
I was now crying,
Yeah.
like, you know, when you can't breathe because you're
Yeah.
crying so hard. And I
Yeah.
was on my own because my husband was working away. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was in pieces, absolute brutal. And I was like, well, I don't like you.
Yeah, of course.
I don't like you. I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And he went, you need to have some bloods done. You'll get another appointment in the post. And I left.
Wow.
And I'm walking along to the bus stop, and my boss phoned me, and I'd already told her all about the
Yeah.
situation, and she said, how did it go? And that was it. I was just beside myself with emotion on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't understand what you're saying, Chloe, and I'm really worried about you. Can you just get home
Yeah.
and then call me back? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
on the phone. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. You know, he told me I had no self-control, that I would be dead within a year if I carried on, and it was brutal. I got home and I sat down and I thought about it, and I thought, do you know what? He's actually right. I don't have any self-control, because if I did, I wouldn't be 145 kilos. If I had an option of having the gadget removed that had helped me, yeah, I probably would start eating again. I've got an addictive personality. Food is my friend. So actually, he's probably right. He is probably right.
So, very harsh,
Very harsh.
very
told me what I
hard to
needed to hear.
listen,
Yeah.
but no one else has ever told you that.
No.
But you wouldn't have been able to take it from anyone else either, would
No.
you? Because your loved ones would never say that
Never.
to you.
My husband would never have said
Of course
that,
he
because
wouldn't.
he would have loved me regardless.
Yes.
Absolutely regardless.
Yeah.
So him and the doctor were the only people that were man enough to be able to say, no, you need to sort it out. This is what needs to be done, and this is what I'm prepared to do. And at the end of it, you'll be fit and healthy, and you'll be able to lead a lifestyle that is actually fit and healthy, and you won't be yo-yoing anymore. You'll have a stable weight, and we will give you all of the tools in your basket to live a healthy life thereafter.
And did you believe them?
I believed him.
You
Yeah, I believed him.
Right, okay.
Because he was brutal.
Yeah.
You know, he had no bedside manner. He didn't tar anything up. He didn't sugarcoat anything. it was...
Do you not think, though, that his manner might have sent someone right over the edge? Or do you think that sometimes
No, I think we had already been there.
Right, okay.
By the time you've made that decision to go through with bariatric surgery, or even slightly close to thinking about it,
Yeah.
you are at rock bottom.
Okay.
And there's no way out.
Right.
The only way is up. And you need... If I hadn't have had his honesty, I probably would have had the bands, and now won't be in the situation I'm in now.
So you think you might be yo-yoing even
Yeah.
today if you had the bands?
Yeah.
Okay. So at some stage, then you probably think then that rock bottom advice that
Yeah.
they give is needed.
100%.
Wow. Okay.
Because people have been making it fluffy for
Yeah.
38 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to take responsibility. You know, I am the one that puts the food in my mouth. I get that. But to have that brutal honesty, and particularly from somebody that you don't know, yeah.
And he's
I
probably
needed
been
it.
working in that field for a very, very long time, and he's seen and heard all of the excuses.
Absolutely.
The barriers, why
Yeah.
I can't, why I can, why it hasn't worked, why it has worked.
And the successes, the failures, why they've happened,
Yeah.
what they've done. You know, because you're monitored for such a long time afterwards. So
He's probably got all of that evidence as well then as well.
Yeah.
Did he present any of that to you at all?
Not on that first meeting,
Right, okay.
no, because I was far
Devastated.
too
Yeah.
But after that, so you then get I had an appointment to go and have my bloods done, and you go back and see him, and you then discuss the actual process without being so emotional, and you then sign the paperwork to say, yes, actually I do want to go down this road. And that's when it all changes. You know, you get assigned a dietitian, you get assigned a mental health
Advocate, support person.
a support person.
Yeah.
And the whole route, because he's the surgeon, you
Yeah.
know, he's the surgeon cutting you open. He doesn't do all of the niceties.
He does the procedure.
Yeah,
He knows
yeah,
what he's doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from that point in, I probably didn't see him again until my
Okay.
surgery 18 months later, when I was lying on the bed,
Yeah.
being dosed up to pass out, you know. But after that, I saw so many people at the Pro, like every 6 weeks, a dietitian, to tell you about what to expect after surgery, how to then live 12-18 months afterwards, and they teach you about the healthy eating plate and all of the rest of it, and how to look at it. Was slightly different being bariatric to most normal people.
Mm-hmm.
For me now, 2 years out, I would class myself a normal person rather than bariatric. But yeah, you go through a whole period. You go through counselling. They have to make sure that if you're an emotional eater, they need to deal with those emotions.
They sure do need to deal with that. Yeah.
So all of those things get addressed, because it's like an 18-month waiting list. It takes a long time to get to surgery. Part of that is because you have to go through so much counselling and so much support, and you don't realise how much pressure you're going to be under and how your life is going to change, because it changes.
Well, it has
really
to,
quickly.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is a lifestyle change. It is
100%.
a whole body change.
Yeah.
Now, for those people that say bariatric surgery is the easy choice, what do you say to that?
Definitely not.
And what are your reasons for that?
I thought it was going to be the easy way, to a degree. I thought, I've tried to do it on my own and I can't do it. Parakeets have arrived.
Yeah, I know. It's lovely.
I thought it was going to be the easy way out. I thought it was almost going to be like, take a pill, wake up the next morning and be skinny. It's not like that. It is not like that. You know, like I said, 18 months of jumping through hoops, of learning how to eat again, you know, being tested and tried, and, you know, finally getting to your hospital date, and then waking up, not having anything past your mouth for 4 days, no water, no food, you're on a drip.
Yep.
And you're not allowed to sit down. You have to be walking like all day, and you're not allowed to sit in your hospital bed and mope. They've got you up and going, and you know, those first 4 days were in a bit of a blur, and then you're sent home and you spend a whole day trying to sip this much water.
Wow. And you just feel full up straight away.
Straight away.
Wow.
Like the water touches your lips and you're like, no more. Take it away, and you're like, no, you've got to get it in. and you spend 4 weeks on clear liquids.
Right, okay.
Touching your lips.
Yeah.
Just touching lips, because you've got no desire to eat whatsoever. It's completely gone. And they were dark days.
Yeah, I can sense that was a struggle.
Yeah, they were really, really
How do you
tough.
get your nutrients into you then, if you know you're not feeling hungry and you can't eat because your stomach's been reduced to such a small space?
Yeah.
How do they get the nutrients into you?
So I'll be on tablets for life.
Right, okay.
So I have to take every 4 hours. When the alarm goes off on my phone.
Yeah.
I have to take calcium, multivitamins, vitamin B injections,
Yeah.
vitamin D tablets. Yeah, there's iron tablets. There's a whole
Host of
plethora
aftercare.
tablets, yes, that I have to take and will have to take for life.
Right, okay.
You know, it is a commitment that I have
Yeah.
to take those every day, because my body cannot absorb enough nutrients
Yeah.
from the food that I can get in.
Right, okay.
But that's why diet is really, really important after. So as a bariatric patient, I have to prioritise protein first.
Yeah.
Then my leafy green vegetables.
Yeah.
And then some fats to keep me sated. But yeah.
So even now today,
Yeah.
with all of that you have to consider, you have to be really quite careful with your diet,
Yeah.
even though you can drink alcohol,
Yeah.
you can have
I
the
could have
odd,
a Mars bar.
you can have whatever,
Yeah.
and you are doing all these vitamins and vitamin B tablet and all the rest of it, injections, sorry. Do you still think that this was the best course of action for
100%.
you? What is life like now, Chloe?
Fantastic. Living the dream. There are so many things that I didn't realise that I loved, that I didn't know that I loved because I couldn't do it.
Like what?
Oh, I love exercising.
I know you do.
Oh my God, it makes me feel so good. It's like a drug. I challenge my husband to making sure we do 10,000 steps every day. I love walking the dog. We spend hours, walking the dog. I love going to the gym. I love working out. I love doing the Pilates. Exercising for me now is like a drug that just gives me a real high, and it just makes me feel like I'm so full of life. I like clothes shopping now, shoe shopping, any type of shopping. I wake up at 5 o'clock and I'm like, yes, let's start the day, let's do it. I sleep really well. I get 8 hours every single day. I don't have an issue sleeping. Just everything about it. I love life. I'm ready to go. I'll be 42 in the summer. I feel 21.
So it has been life-changing for you.
100%, 100%
Yeah.
life-changing, and I can't believe how much of a difference in me, to how I feel about life. I want to go on a boot camp holiday to Greece, and my husband's like, no, I'd like to lie on a beach and drink cocktails. I'm like, no, let's go to a boot camp, let's do it.
Whereas before you wouldn't want to do no
No.
exercise.
I wouldn't go on holiday because I
No.
couldn't fit in the chairs.
Yeah.
I went on the last holiday, I had to ask for an extension belt, and I was so embarrassed that my husband asked for me.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's bright orange. It's
Yeah.
like advertising that you're fat. It's like,
Yeah.
there's the fatty.
yeah.
And,
It's not nice.
no. So I didn't go on holiday.
So let's just talk through your actual physical weight loss.
Yep.
So from the day of surgery to date,
Yep.
what does that look like?
So it all started in the summer of 2016. That's when I went to the doctors. And then by the time we got to October 2017, that's when I had my pre-op. So October 17, I went for my pre-op. They give you like an ECG, they swab you for MRSA, and they do loads of other
Yeah.
testing to make sure that you're ready to go at the drop of a hat. That lasts for 3 months. At that point, I'd been obviously spending 18 months with my dietitian, and one of the things that she highlighted was that probably for 12 to 18 months I was going to have to be very low carb, because my tummy was going to be about this size.
Okay.
And I had to eat high protein,
Carry on.
high protein leafy green veg was basically all I was going to be able to eat, because carbohydrates is what they call like a slider food, so it goes in really easy, no nutritional value for me as a bariatric patient.
Yeah.
So rice, bread, pasta, potato was a big no-no. It swells in my little tiny tummy, and it just made you feel really ill. So I she recommended to me the keto diet. So after my pre-op, I went on the keto diet and I started then. So I was 145 kilos at my pre-op.
22 stone.
And by the time I started my LRD, which is the liver reducing diet, which was 2 weeks before my surgery,
Yeah.
I think I'd lost a couple of stone
Yeah.
already. So I was already feeling fantastic.
Yeah.
Then I went on the LRD, which is basically a chicken breast and 2 eggs and a piece of fruit a day and lots of water. That was it for 2 weeks to shrink my liver,
Yeah.
so they could scoop it up and then do the surgery underneath it. So that's for 2 weeks. So I probably lost another stone whilst on the LRD, and that was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then once I'd had surgery, basically it fell off me. I literally couldn't keep up with the weight loss. I was probably losing 4 or 5 pounds a week,
Yeah.
easily. Particularly at the beginning when you're just on a liquid diet.
Yeah.
I would say by the time I got to October, by November of 2018, I was 74 kilos. So that's 10 months.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's massive. So by the March, which was 3 months, I was down to 107 kilos. That was 35 kilos
Yeah.
since January. It just dropped off me.
Off you. So when did I meet you?
So I looked this up. So my very first Pilates class was the 12th of March 2018.
Right, and you'd already lost about 9 or 10 stone by then.
I was
hadn't you?
106 kilos when I met you.
Yeah. Kilos don't mean nothing to me. It's stones and pounds that I work in.
So-
I'm very not European.
Sorry.
That's fine,
So
but
that's 30 kilos, which is 60 pounds, probably about 15 stone.
You'd lost before.
No, I was.
Oh, you
I
was.
got down
Right,
to, so I probably
okay.
lost about 7 stone
Right.
by the
Yeah.
time I met you.
Yeah. And then the last couple of years, how much have you lost?
So since November 18,
Yeah.
I have basically remained stable.
Yeah.
So I lost most of it by the November of the year that I had
Yeah.
my surgery in 2018, and since then
Yeah.
so that was about 11 stone.
Yeah.
Last summer I got down to about 10.5 stone, and now I'm back up again
Yeah.
to about
Yeah.
11ish stone.
But you're half the person that you was.
I'm actually half a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the person.
Yeah.
So they recommend. So what they class as a success.
Yeah.
Is 75% of your excess body weight lost,
Right.
and I think I lost 110.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So as soon as you hit, I think 28 on your BMI, 27, 28,
Yeah.
they class you as a success.
Okay. That's brilliant.
Yeah, because by that point, you might still be a little bit overweight,
Yeah.
but it's nothing in comparison to what you were.
And you've got none of those
health issues.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'd gone from morbidly obese
Yeah.
down to overweight,
Yeah.
and then tipped into the normal bracket.
Have you got any idea of how much that surgery cost?
So if you go privately,
Yeah.
it's about £15,000 for a bypass.
All right. And have you got any idea of how much money you would have saved the NHS compared to the cost of that?
About 50 grand.
Right. So there is a big
Massive.
cost saving for the NHS to offer
Massive,
this.
yeah.
However, I think you have to be a particular person to go through it.
Definitely. It's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not, is it?
No.
It's a journey.
It is such a journey, and the commitment has to be there, and you have to have people around you to support you. If my husband hadn't have supported me, it would have been so hard. Not just those 6 weeks where you're on liquid, and then the next 6 weeks when you're on mush, and every single one of those days you regret the decision that you've made, and you think, oh my God, can they just stitch my stomach back? And you're looking at him eating this mountain of chips,
yeah.
and you've got a piece of chicken like this that's taking
Yeah.
you all day to eat.
Yeah.
Those first 12 weeks I regretted it every day, and it was dark and it was tough. However, the weight fell off and I was feeling good and I was feeling better, and it was by that point that he then recommended Pilates to me. That was my surgeon.
Right.
One of my checkups, and said you need low impact
Yeah.
exercise to get you back into the world, so
Yeah.
to speak. Yeah. he
And what did that
recommended it.
do for you?
Oh, it just boosted my morale.
Right.
To be able to bend over
Yeah.
and touch my toes and not sweat, amazing.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed even when I was running my fat loss and fitness clubs, was that when people started losing the weight, they never saw that slimmer person. And I've had this conversation with you as well. Yeah. At what stage did you start seeing that slimmer person and actually experiencing that slimmer person?
That I would say was a long time, a long time. So I was a size 26, 28 at my biggest. I got to a size 16 around my birthday, which was the July, and I was so happy. I would have been happy if I'd have stayed there forever, because when you're that big, a size 16 feels like a long way away, and it feels normal. I was a size 16 for about 2 weeks. I bought loads of dresses for my birthday and I wore every single one of them, and in my photographs of my birthday I'm in a different outfit, and I literally got changed about every half an hour because I felt amazing. But when I dreamt and when I thought about myself, I was still the big girl. I was still that size 26, 28 girl. Even at a size 16, I was still there. And I would say it wasn't until I then had my plastic surgery to have my tummy tuck that I then actually felt like a slim person.
So once that excess skin had been taken away,
because I felt like I'd done all that work, and I'd worked really hard, and I still had all that skin. And I could roll the skin up and put it in my pants, and I looked lovely. But when I took the pants off, it was all there, and it almost felt like I hadn't finished the journey.
So that must have made you feel really horrible that you had done all of that work. And you still had all of that skin.
So it wasn't until I had that I probably got over my body dysmorphia. Like, don't get me wrong, when I got down to like a size 12, I probably thought I was a 16, and I would go into shops and I would pull out a size 16 and put it on and go, oh, it's a bit too big, and you'd put it back. But once I'd had that surgery, and I was like, oh yeah, pick out the 10s, because I know that's going to fit me now, because I could look at myself and know, and I could see it. But
so again, it was a gradual process. Like putting on the weight's a gradual process, and then becoming immobile is a gradual process. The reverse of that is a gradual process.
Definitely,
And now, how do you look at yourself?
Oh, like the slim person I am.
Fabulous.
Fit person that
You're
I am.
Fit, athletic person that you are. Now, just talk us through now what a day looks like in your life, food-wise, fitness-wise, and just what it has done for you.
So a day in the life outside of COVID. For me, wake up about 5, feed the dog, she goes out in the garden, come downstairs, have my first breakfast, probably banana or an apple or something just to keep me going, take the dog out, do 2 or 3k with her, come back, go to the boxing gym, do an hour of boxing, come back, have my proper breakfast, probably bacon, eggs, avocado, spinach, depending on how hungry I am. But that's probably the norm for me. Then off to work. I work from home, so I tend to do like an hour of work, and then I'll go and walk around the house or walk around the garden, make sure I get my 10,000 steps in. Then lunchtime will come round, take the dog back out for another walk, or I'll walk up to Hayes, make sure I get another 2 or 3k in, come home, finish the afternoon in work. If I haven't done enough steps, I'll do a few more. Probably do a Pilates session in the evening, healthy meal. So for lunch, before I would probably have maybe a tuna salad, or maybe something low carb but high protein. Now though, I've reintroduced the carbohydrates. I do so much exercise, I can't now live without them. So now I probably have baked beans with corned beef or with prawns, or I'd have a jacket potato with bolognese, something very similar for tea. But I have moderate carbohydrates, low fat, high protein.
So what I'm picking up here is that you've eaten, when you first started off and you was obese, you were just eating everything and anything.
Whatever I wanted.
Whatever you wanted, and sod the consequences.
I wouldn't even be able to say to you that I consciously said how many calories I would have in a day. It wouldn't even cross my mind. I would go, I want a cheese and Marmite sandwich, I'm having one.
Yeah.
I want a jacket potato, a tuna,
So there was no
I'm having
thinking.
No.
It was just, I have. And then obviously you went through your surgery and you had to eat according to what they said, because you just had to, because that is the plan. And now you are eating for your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So you are eating what you need to fuel the
body.
Lifestyle that you're living. And that's what we've all got, wherever we are. That is what we all should be doing. We should be eating for the lifestyle that we're living, or the lifestyle that we want, rather than what we want all of the time.
Absolutely. So, you know, I will always have to be low sugar. I've got no choice about that. That's what he was saying, my surgeon, about the fact that those choices need to be taken away from me. So when that part of my stomach was removed, it removes the ability to process sugar. That's why you have to stay low carb for the first 12-18 months, because your body reacts really badly to the sugars. So I had to keep the carbs really low. I certainly couldn't have sugar. I tell a funny story. I got to about 15 weeks after surgery and I phoned one of my work friends and I said, all I want to do is suck a what's-it. I just want some food.
A what's-it?
I know, of all the things I wanted a what's-it.
Right.
So I sucked a what's-it.
Okay.
And they call it dumping syndrome.
Right.
And basically your body rejects what you've put in.
Right.
And you sweat and you pass out and you go to bed and you cry, and for an hour the whole world feels like it's come to an end, and then you pop out the other side and you're like, holy smoke, I'm never doing that again.
Wow.
Yeah, they call it dumping syndrome.
Okay.
So it's just your body rejects what it's put in, and it's normally because it's high sugar or high carbohydrate.
Yeah.
So I learnt my lesson very early on that I have to be really, really careful when it comes to sugar and carbohydrates. You know, don't get me wrong, I can probably do a Mars bar every now and again.
Yeah, but not every day.
Oh my God, no.
No, you'll be very ill.
And I would start nibbling at it and I will know straight away.
Right.
So if I have it like on an empty stomach, or if I haven't done any exercise, that will just hit me like a ton of bricks, and it'll be like I've got drunk in 2 seconds and I won't be able to carry on. However, if I've got a really good full belly and I've had really nutritious food and my body isn't screaming out for more protein and I have a Mars bar, I can get away with it. But we're talking once in a while.
Yeah.
But I can enjoy those things now, and I enjoy it more because it is a treat rather than 2 or 3 every day, which is probably what I was having before.
Yeah. So I just want to, before I ask you if there's anything else you want to add, I just want to sort of say that the answer to the question then about bariatric surgery, if it's the easy way out, it isn't. It's not. And there's a lot of consideration, there is a lot of help, there's a lot of support. However, for that person that is watching, that is really, and I mean really struggling, and they are really looking at this option as a life-changing thing, from your perspective, you would recommend it?
100%. And I would even say, if you're in a situation where you are overweight, and I mean overweight,
clinically obese,
morbidly obese, and you're finding that your life, when you're honest to yourself, is starting to deteriorate, go and speak to your doctor and start the process.
And look at the options.
Because you've got 18 months before they give you surgery. And you will get support from your NHS. They have been amazing. I cannot fault them. They will support you and they will guide you. And if you decide when your hospital date comes through for surgery that actually it's not for you, then you say no and you walk away. But at least you've then done that time and you're then ready to go, rather than spending 2 or 3 years going, oh, what if, and then having to go down that road.
Because you've got no other option, basically.
By that point,
you're being forced to have it, basically. Or because it's life-threatening. If you don't do something medically, you are going to die because.
Absolutely.
One question I was going to ask you, it just come into my brain, is if you knew what you knew now, when you were lighter, before you got to 22 stone, say, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 stone overweight, but you knew everything you knew now, what would you have done differently so that you wouldn't need to have had that medical intervention?
So when I had spent time with my dietitian and I had my pre-op and I went on to keto, I said, if I had known about keto all those years ago, and how actually my understanding of how insulin works in the body and how it spikes your hunger, and how actually reducing the carbohydrate intake and increasing the protein actually makes losing weight really easy and tasty, I probably wouldn't have got to where I was, because I thought there are so many ways to get around eating carbohydrates and still having a really good diet. Not that I'm saying you should be carbohydrate free, that's not the point, but a ketogenic diet...
We need to talk about that carbohydrate, yeah.
So the ketogenic diet is a really low carb diet, but you lose weight really easily because it's a really tasty diet, and that's what I didn't like about dieting, is I always felt you were eating cardboard. It was like dry this and dry that.
So what does low carb actually look like? So for me, low carbohydrate still means eating lots of vegetables, eating a small amount of fruit, so you get that sweetness in, but it's it's cutting out the sugar laden processed foods.
That's it, it's the process.
It's the process. It's man-made food.
Yes.
It's the quick stuff.
Yeah.
It's not natural food. That's what it means to me. So what does it mean to you?
So for example, if I was going to have spaghetti bolognese, I still call it spaghetti bolognese. I make the mince as I would normally, and then I will take courgette and spiralise it, and I will have that as my pasta. Or I will have pasta, but I will have probably half the recommended portion and loads more mince.
So this goes down to portion size.
100%.
It goes down to the ingredients, and it goes down to, actually, if you want to clean up your diet, cut out the sugar, cut out the processed foods, go back to natural foods,
100%.
and eat the carbohydrates from natural sources.
From whole foods.
Whole foods,
So you need to eat them from whole foods, and if you're going to have potatoes with your roast dinner, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Don't make your roast dinner about the roast potatoes.
And being a mountain.
Exactly. Have cauliflower, really good for you. Have broccoli, put some cheese sauce on it. That's absolutely fine. 1 or 2 potatoes, and then your lean meats.
Yeah.
But don't make your roast dinner about having 6 or 7 potatoes, because that's not actually what you need, and that spikes the bloods.
Yeah.
Because it spikes the insulin.
Yeah.
So, low carb for me now, I would say I was keto, 100%. It got me where I needed to be, and I do enjoy that way of eating. I exercise so much now, I need carbs
extra
for fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say I now have a moderate carbohydrate intake. I probably have less than 150 grams a day. If you don't know what that is, I have 2 slices of toast for breakfast, I have a jacket potato for lunch, and then for tea I probably will go low carb, but that will mean broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, chards, anything green and leafy, cabbage. I don't miss out.
And what you've just said there is really, really critical for people to hear. It's not about cutting out the rice and the potatoes, but it is about looking at your portion control, as you say, moderating them, and getting all of those green leafy vegetables into your diet, and going back to natural sources as much as possible. So that is what I was trying to get to. So if you find that you are 1 stone, 2 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone overweight, you can claw it back without that medical intervention. But it's not about going on that yo-yo diet. It's about looking at your health and eating for health.
Definitely.
And learning about the basic nutrition and putting that back into place.
That's the key thing. I don't think there is enough education when it comes to nutrition. I don't think kids learn it in school. I don't think people get enough support after education finishes about nutrition. You know, like, don't get me wrong, you know, people think, oh yeah, if you eat Chris you're going to get fat. Well, actually that's technically not true.
No, it's not
true.
Yeah.
To lose weight, you just need to be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
That's it. And to be honest, you're better off being in a very small calorie deficit and taking a year to lose your weight, rather than a massive calorie deficit and try and lose it in 3 or 4 months, because all you're then going to do is binge, because you've restricted yourself for such a period of time that you reward yourself with bad food afterwards. Whereas actually, if you learn what a healthy week of food is with a few treats, you can sustain that forever.
Yeah.
And that means you lose a couple of pounds every month, which actually means you will get to your goal in an achievable manner.
Completely.
Education.
Yeah, education. And the way that we are looking at it now is about it is about cleaning up your diet, as you said, but it's also about that calorie deficit, and it's not about telling people to live by calories. However, your total daily energy expenditure, your TDEE, and you can all Google this. You go onto Google, put in TDEE calculator, and basically you put in your height, your weight, put in your sedentary, because it is only a guideline, and it will show you how many calories per day you should be eating. And then if you get something like MyFitnessPal, download that, or there's other equivalents, and you put in that the food that you're eating, absolutely everything, whether it be processed food, whether it be your home cooked food, whether it be your treats, put in there what you're eating. It will show you where you may be going a bit awry. Okay, most of us do not know how much we are eating.
Definitely.
Most of us cheat and don't write down exactly what we are eating. You need to know, you need to have a starting point. You need to know what is your guide. You need to be eating about 250 calories underneath that guide, so that at the end of the week you're losing that 1 to 2 pounds a week. And once you know what a jacket potato with cheese and beans is, for example, it might be 500 calories. You eat that in one meal. You then have another meal of about 500 calories, and then another one. You can start working out what it is you should and should not be having more of or less of, and you can then work out a nice balanced diet for you. So you can work in that glass of alcohol, you can work in that bar of chocolate, but you have to remember it's about what your body needs to balance your hormones, and not what you want all of the time. Because if you eat what you want all of the time, most of us will put on that weight and get, or move towards obesity and morbid obesity. So we need to reverse that. We need to educate ourselves.
And it's about the fat on the inside as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's the fat around
the organs.
That is actually the fat that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
So you have the whole skinny fat thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so on the outside you look like you're really slim, but actually on the inside your organs are screaming.
And that's just genetics.
Fat. Yeah.
That is, you're just lucky with your genetics.
Yeah.
So if we eat for health, we need to think about everything that Chloe's told us today, and we need to start going back to like a caveman diet, a paleo diet. You can call it what you like, but the more you can cook from scratch from foods that are natural and whole grain, the better off we will be.
And we're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
We eat the same foods on a cycle.
Yeah.
So, and I have learned, for example, if I want a jacket potato for lunch, then I make sure that my evening meal is lower in carbs. I can't have 2 jacket potatoes in one day. I know that. That's something that I've now learned. So I don't have to track all of my food all of the time, because...
Just need a starting point, don't you?
So just do it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
I know it's a pain in the arse, but actually it'll be a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
And we do become creatures of habit.
And this is all part of your educational journey, isn't it? Working out and finding out what things are, because lots of people don't want to live doing calories.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, once you've got that bit of information, you can then move forwards and not have to calorie count.
Absolutely.
Because you know that for you, I am a high carb person because that's what I need, because of all the exercise I do. But I do need the protein and I do need the good fats.
Yeah.
So I do eat chocolate. That's my go-to because I'm an emotional eater at the moment. However, for health and for weight maintenance,
Yep.
I have to be careful.
Yep.
I have to. And everybody does.
But I think once you've worked out what you can eat in a day,
Yeah.
and you get used to knowing what that looks like,
Yeah.
you know when you've eaten too much.
Yeah, of course you do.
You know you do.
And you know when to cut back.
Yeah, and you go, do you know what? I've been a bit of a piggy the last couple of days. Let's just rein it in for a couple
Yeah.
of days, and then it'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Because you do get used to it, and you do know. And for me, especially being bariatric, you know, I will always have that little man on my shoulder saying
Yeah.
to me, you can't eat that, you can't eat that.
Yeah.
Because I get full really quickly. So I eat a lot of food in small portions
Yeah.
over the day.
Yeah.
I try and have 4 meals
Yeah.
rather than grazing.
Yeah.
I try not to snack in between,
Yeah.
because actually if I snack I then can't eat my dinner.
Yeah. And then that throws it all out.
And then
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. But if I know I'm going to have some alcohol at the weekend, I'll just try and be a little bit better during the week.
Yeah.
And
And that's
just
what
make
we
good
want-
choices.
And that's what we want to do. We want to
Yeah.
live a life
Yeah.
to the full, a healthy life, but with balance. We want to
Definitely.
have a bit of alcohol and a bit of chocolate and a bit of whatever, a takeaway every now
Yeah.
and then. But, and again, if you're happy with your life, if you're happy with your health, you carry on.
Yep.
If you can get away with eating 5 chocolate bars a day and it don't bother you, you've got no health conditions, you carry on. But most people, there will be a point in their life where their weight bothers them, where their mobility bothers them, and
Yep.
when their health bothers them. And that is when you need to take a look at what is going on for you.
Yep.
And you need to educate yourself about what is healthy eating and what is not, and get that balance back in.
Definitely.
And if you do end up with morbid obesity and health conditions, you may need to consider some of the options that Chloe has spoken about today. So I'm just going to wrap up, everyone, and I'm going to go back to Chloe and ask her if she's got any other tips or anything else that she wants to share with us all.
So if you are overweight and you don't have the support, reach out. There's loads of Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. I've got a beautiful Facebook group from my surgeon up at the Pru. If you don't have that support at home, because you won't always have it at home,
No.
you might live on your own. You might not have any family. You might not have friends who understand. They might all be lucky and be really skinny.
Yeah.
Reach out, go and see your doctor, go and see somebody and just talk to them about it. Reach out through some of the groups on Facebook and you will get the support and the help that you need. But if you decide that surgery isn't for you, that's fine. It's not right for everybody.
Yeah.
The best thing I can suggest, if you don't go down that road, is keep active. Even if all you do is your 10,000 steps a day, it will make such a difference, and it will get you in the right mindset, and you just have to keep pushing forward. But try, maybe do an online nutritional course so that you actually understand. I had no idea there was 4 grams of calories in for 1 gram of protein. I had no idea of that. You know, I had
4
no,
calories per
4
gram,
calories
yeah,
per gram
yeah.
of protein. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's something that I have learnt through having to do my my counselling and with my nutritionist at the hospital. So educate yourself and you will have a better understanding moving forward, and you'll be more likely to succeed. Definitely.
Yeah. So good luck, whatever your
Yes.
journey looks like.
Good luck.
Thank you, Chloe, very much for being brave and honest and true with us all. Guys, again, if you are not morbidly obese and you don't have those health conditions at the moment, all I can say to you is please look at your health, especially as you get older. Your bone density goes down, your muscle mass goes down. So as you get older, everything gets harder. So try and work towards a healthier lifestyle. And if you have struggles with weight or fitness and you want to get in touch with me, please do. Chris Tutt from West Wickham Health and Fitness with Chloe Skinner.
Bye.
Thank you very much. You are on camera.
Oh, bye.
All right, guys. We hope you found this talk interesting and helpful, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.